Yama. Good morning, guys. Hope everybody had a really great weekend. Cheers to Shaggies and coffee in the morning with Shaggy and Gang. We don't know who's going to pop up. Could be Frank. Could be Charles, Sparky, Isaiah. Man, I sent out invites to all kinds of people. And if you'd like to join the chat or come on live and you're here and you got something to say, just hit me up. I'll send you an invite in Messenger and you can join and talk. Hope everybody had a really great weekend. Mine was kind of messed up. You ever had where you start out the day and everything goes wrong, from the Scooby flying off the golf cart to getting beat up pretty bad, falling downstairs? I did learn that when you walk out your camper and you don't pay attention, that you can literally, with size 12 shoes and flip flops, float to the bottom before you hit the ground. Like the stairs. Yeah. The arm thing don't help you much. You just kind of I hope everybody had a really great weekend. How was your last week? I was trucking for you last week. And if you guys are new to the show, I come on every morning for like 30, 40 minutes, depending on which Hellraisers come on that cause trouble. And we're always talking about topics. And I know it's early, problems are happening, people are dispatching, we're getting our loads booked, things are moving. I get it. I get it. Just to start and wake your day up, get you going. Hey, it's the first day of the week. We're the first month into that second half of the year. The question is what if you could change something, what would you change about your trucking company? Or if you could go back and start over, what would you do? How would you do it different? If you could stop and do something or add to something right now, what would it be? Or if you're starting your trucking company, what would be the first two or three things you should think about? For you guys that are already out here, what would you tell them if you could do it over right now? That's my question. You're starting the second quarter, the second half of the year. We're in the third quarter. First half sucked, right? For some people. Other people are doing fine. What would you change? Type in the comments your things. What would you change? Like right now, if you could go back and start your company over, or change two or three things and do something different or add to it, because it's hard to change, right? When you're already stuck, you got to pay the bills, you got to keep driving, you haul the next load, keep going, hope nothing happens. We get through this until that money comes back. I know you got to still do that, but what could we change right now? We have an upcoming webinar. It's going to be on August 13th. It's cool. And we're going to be talking about 6 things in 6 hours and 4 topics to each hour. And we're going to have a notebook. And it's part of my compliance company, Shaggy Solutions, where we're doing all this compliance and a lot of audits and different things with Betty. So in this deal, we're going to do 6 things in 6 hours with a few people, and it's going to have a notebook, like a workshop and stuff, where we have to go through, and you're going to write down things that you want to change, or things that you need to do, or things that you're not doing, or building local and dedicated, where you're going to stick to that product at, and how we're going to get there, and what we're going to do with customers. And we're just going to make a commitment to a plan. We're going to learn 6 things that we should do, and I'm going to give you ideas to help you right now. Not like starting a trucking company or starting a brokerage or the whole process of dispatching, but 6 things in those things. in those 6 hours, four things about six things that you're going to want to make decisions of what to do. You have to do something. How do you keep going in this path that you're rolling in? So back to the question, like you, the four that are watching or the people that are coming through, type in the comments, like what questions, what things would you change or do a different or add to? What would you do different? You got 6 months. The fuse is ticking. If you don't do something by January, you cannot be here next year. We're 6 minutes in. How's everybody doing? How was your weekend? What was you doing? How was the last 6 months of your trucking business? Tell me in the chat. I'd like to hear from you guys. Mine has been growing and growing, but not growing fast enough, but growing because it's so many different parts. You guys that are listening, do you own a trucking company? You own a brokerage? Are you a dispatching service? In the last 6 months, how's your clients? How's your volume? How's the carriers? Like, if you're a broker and you're starting out new and you have no relationships with carriers, you can't tell me you love working on the load boards. It can't be fun. Really? So what are we working on? And I want to know from you guys, this is discussion where you're sitting at the cafe or you're sitting around a table with your meeting and you're like thinking about what are we doing so the next 6 months are different than the last 6 months with our trucking company right now. Do we even know what to do? That could be the question you type in the comments. Give me a second here. Well, you guys think about it. Tell me, what can we change to make our lives better in trucking? I hear so many people that own company trucks and they deal with drivers. Well, why not just eliminate the drivers and make lease purchase and have all owner operators? Can you, what while I'm flowing through? Maybe it's nobody can hear me. Like, because I usually get some people to type comments in there. Am I live? Can you guys hear me? No, I guess not. Maybe. Maybe it's dead this morning. It is Monday, right? So Monday it sucks. Can you guys hear me? Because I know everybody's not doing good. Because I see all the comments on Facebook, trucking. I hear the calls every day. People are calling, like I hear what they're doing. I had guys calling me on yesterday, Sunday, Saturday, Friday, every day. I'll show you the phone. It's one after another, right? So if I was in trucking today, and this is the questions and comments that I'm getting, right? For the last 6 months, this is what I'm getting. Either do it for me, make the money, just give it to me, or I don't know what to do. So right now, with your trucking business that you have, your brokerage or your dispatcher or whatever you're doing, they're all hurting. Everybody's hurting. Factoring companies, insurance companies, brokerages, everybody's hurting. So if we're hurting or something's not working, what can we do to change? Do we dispatch more trucks? Do we put on more owner operators? Do we figure out how? Do we how do we change? Do we go after customers direct? Do we start posting, searching in lanes and directions and getting volume of freight before we need it so we know what we can do? Like, what do we do? You guys tell me. Does no one care anymore? We all give up on our faith. No one's proactive. We're just going day by day, keeping the lights on. It feels like that to me. Like sometimes I think about these coffee in the morning videos sometimes, and every minute I get on and I see a day where it's slow, but it still hits 300 or 400 people, and I think about quitting them because no one cares. And then I get on, and then next thing you know, like 8 people say, "Hey, where's your video the other day?" And I was like, "Well, I decided not to do it." "Oh no, keep doing it." Wow, hell, just because people don't comment, you never know who's listening. It's crazy. Or one thing you can say that could change somebody or help them. One thing you can do at a taekwondo school to change a kid to make him that much better in himself. Isn't that crazy? One comment about posting, searching with directions so brokers can and customers can find you to offer you what you want, but you don't ever do that. We freight chase. Got 12 minutes on here. You guys have so can you guys any of the 6 people watching or the 7 to 8 people tell me if you were a trucking company or a brokerage and you're having one or trouble, what could you do right now to change? What could somebody do? What should we do? What do you do if you have trucks that are sitting because drivers suck, but you got the freight to move them? How much is the difference of profits between lease purchasing the equipment and letting somebody else pay for it, or what you were actually making off having a driver? What is the difference between having a your husband drive, your dad drive, your son drive, your cousin drive for you, your friend Billy, and an owner operator lease to you? What is the difference in compliance and safety? Because everybody thinks they're comfortable with the first 4 guys, but they don't understand it's the same whether it's the owner operator or those guys. You're like, what are they going to do better than the owner? What if the owner operator is better than they are? What if he hauls more and doesn't complain as much as your family? How much is an owner operator worth to a carrier compared to a driver? How much is a lease purchase worth to a carrier if the truck's not running? Why should a carrier with more than 2 trucks have a brokerage? What would it be valuable to them? How come we don't post our trucks out 30 to 60 days where we live, going to 2 or 3 different cities, and then come right back so everybody knows we have trucks there in volume for weeks out at a time? How come when a broker calls you up and they tell you they just landed a customer that works with trucking companies and brokerages, right? On the phone with you, but they have no trucks. You look the customer up, you see on Google, you even see multiple brokers working with the customer, and then they have trucks and all this stuff. You zoom in on the picture, it tells you the phone number to call, but you don't call. So let's see, Juniper. All right, we got questions. All right, so man, I just do, and somehow it works. But I tell you, I'm truly sinking because I jumped in blind, and I'm running blind. So what do we? So Juniper. I love the name too. Shaggy wants to know. So what do you do to stop? So what are you doing right now to stop? If you could take 1 or 2 days or 2 hours a day to change something, why aren't you? Like, so if we go through all those scenarios I just said, right? I was talking about the customers, the brokers. We're tired about what everybody else is keeping. These guys don't know how to bid. Well, what would you bid? I mean, I get understanding why you're going to Denver and you're going back to North Carolina. If it pays $3.50 a mile going out and $1.50 coming back, and then you average it across and you do that same thing every week and it gives you your numbers and your restart, okay. But if you're going from Charlotte to Denver, then Denver to Florida, then Florida back to Denver to the Northeast, and then finally coming back home and playing your numbers that way, that's fucking crazy. Our bills keep me from changing. So, okay, so bills keep you. I get you got it. Okay, so we have to talk. So, are you like one truck authority? Do you have more than one truck? If I was to draw a circle around where Juniper lives, 150-mile radius, and I don't care where it is, and I was to look for you for freight, I live in California and it sucks. Two trucks. Okay. So obviously in California, they're company trucks too, right? Company trucks too, right? Two truck authority. And so you probably too, Juniper, you probably, do you book loads where you just try to stay? Yeah. And so do you book? And so well, you probably still drive and you have a driver and another one. And since California's so great, you can't really do the diversity with owner operators anymore. So that fucking sucks. So the really only thing you have to do is either add more company trucks or become a broker and get the customers yourself, because that's it. That's your options. You either become a broker and add more company trucks and dispatch or broker the freight to other one truck authorities because California sucks to make leverage, right? So you either got to get the customers and then leverage the freight, or so you can add more company trucks, or you got to add dispatching through your brokerage to those other carriers, or you got to move out of state and get owner operators added on. But back to the point right now, though, on customers. So, do you run just California? Do you like run the Western 15? Do you run the Western 7? Do you go all the way out to East Coast and come back? Do you just go fucking everywhere? That's a different story too. Do you go everywhere? This is fun. I know some dispatchers I'm working with here today at 11:30 that are out of California only. Okay, so if I got a question for you, so what city are you located in? LA, Sacramento, Modesto, Pendleton. Where are you at? Barstow, Bakersville, San Diego, Tijuana. Are you in Weed? That's my favorite place. Weed, California. Bakersville. Okay, great. So you're in Bakersville. So right now, if I was to look for a trucking company with two trucks, dry van, flatbed, or refrigerated, and it's 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, my carrier just fell off of my dedicated lane that leaves Bakerfield, goes out 300 miles, and then comes right back and use my trailers, or any kind of problems. Let's say anybody has problems in Bakersville, or let's say I'm a customer that hired a broker, or I'm a customer looking for a carrier, small, 2 week for a project coming up 2 and 3 and 4 weeks from now. If I was looking for you and let's say you're even in my database system where I had you in my broker system, the packets, but hell, we never talk. Fuck, you're in there. You filled out one. Shit, you've been in there for 5 years, but doesn't mean I know what the fuck you want. And then you look at the customers and brokers. If I was looking for Juniper Trucking out of Bakersville, California with two trucks, and I needed them 2 weeks or 6 weeks from now to run local freight from Bakersville to San Francisco, or Bakersville to San Diego and back, or San Diego back to Bakersville, or Bakersville to LA, or anything like that, how would I find you? Like literally, how would I call you up and offer it to you right now? Because you only got two trucks and you're driving one. How much networking can you possibly do it? I'm just asking. This is what I'm asking. I'm asking right now. I get your bills. That's because every time your truck loses a load of stuff falls, you're paying for it with your truck. I get it. Happens everywhere. It doesn't matter if you live in California or fucking New Jersey or Indianapolis. You become an investor because you buy a second truck thinking it's a great thing, but then you become a slave to the truck because if you don't get enough trucks to get past that hump, you're never going to make it. Right, but I'm still saying the same thing on a load board. Most people don't post, right? Most people don't post because when you post anywhere or you post zone one, zone two, but we never post past today and tomorrow or when we're getting empty next. That's all we do. We in America, we don't look past next year, let alone 2 fucking years. We don't do anything. We don't look past today and tomorrow or this week or next. And then everything else is all about the month. Well, at the end of the month, we got money in it. Well, what about what you needed to, where's your plan? Like, do you need $10,000 a month? Do you need $120,000 a month? I mean, what is your numbers? I'm always going over this, and I'm still terrible at bookkeeping. Let me tell you, I fucking hate bookkeeping. Bookkeeping sucks. So there's so many people on here right now. We're just getting fired up. Welcome to Shaggy's Consulting and Training Group. I'm Shaggy. Guys, share the video, like the page, check out our website. We have a webinar coming up on August 13th, Sunday. It's going to be from 2 to 9, 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. 6 hours, 6 topics. We're going to talk about restructuring trucking companies and starting them and compliance and safety, building lanes and just all kinds of stuff. Getting customers, brokerages, why it's important, plans. Guys, if you're tuning in right now, we're talking about if you could change something today, what would you do? How would you? Why can't you change and add to it? What did everybody do? What is everybody going to do different that they didn't do in the first 6 months? Okay, per truck. Well, it's 7,500 a week. 7,500 a week, right? 3,000 miles, 2,000 miles, 7 times 4 is 28. So 75, that's 7,500 a week. Probably 240 a 1 mile, empty and loaded, give or take, maybe. Oh, 250, empty and loaded. Okay, go do it. Go sell that to some customers. Go drive your truck when you're over there and you're delivering all those places all the time. You only run fucking California. Right now, their volumes are down. Walk in. Produce season's on the fall, so it's going to get worse here soon because all those guys will be starving. So, what kind of questions? What would you do to change your business right now if you could? Like, if you could go back and change your trucking company, what would be 3 or 4 things you'd do different? Type it in the chat. What would you do different? Would it be where you opened it? Would it be the first type of equipment you bought? Would it be you would have stayed where you were and added a network of people to work with before you started? So, what would you do? Thanks, Jupiter. Juniper. All right. So what would you do? So what would you do different if you could go back and start over? What would you do? Would you have actually had compliance and safety set up so that way you knew the 4 or 5 processes that you did to protect your drivers, plus let them know what they need to do when they work for you, so you didn't lose all that money whenever you did it? Never leased on to a company. There you go. Why? Why? Because you could have did it yourself. Because when you leased on, you had no diversity, and once you had a breakdown because they dictated the freight, you were stuck into them. Was it because you couldn't add owner operators on and get customers and have any diversity? What was the reason why you leased on? I know a lot of people that lease on and love it. Matter of fact, here in 2 months, I'm opening up my trucking company. I'll be leasing on owner operators. But I get it. What could you do different? Get your authority? How many people use the dispatching service started out under their authority? And if they wouldn't have, they'd probably still be in business now. Because they knew how many people, if they would have found posted local, dedicated, or regional and built some dedicated lanes and had people call ahead of time and found out that brokers will set up to work with you before you even go active or commit to, and you could have had a network set up and not even had to use a dispatcher, that would be messed up. Let's see, Manila, MT Manila. Let's see. She says, I have my own authority and insurance, and it's a crapshoot. I feel like they run me just enough to keep me broke. So, like, hold on. So you have your own authority and you have your own insurance. So you have your own trailer or just a truck? Because I'm confused, right? So, like, let me explain real quick. So their owner operator is a guy that goes to a place and buys a truck, a semi, pickup truck, whatever, box truck, hot shot, any kind of vehicle. And if he does not go and pay 1,100,000 plus whatever else he needs and activate his MC authority, he is a he is an owner operator. He leases to somebody else. So when you lease to somebody else, they provide insurance, they provide all this stuff. You pay it through them. If you have your own MC number and you have your own insurance agent, then you shouldn't be leased on to another carrier and they shouldn't be booking you freight. You should be doing it on your own. I'm so confused. Okay, so if you're leased to them, so you're paying cargo liability insurance through them, you don't have your own MC. Or you have your own MC and you're paying insurance too. You're doing it both? It's like consulting 101. Hey, let's give you that. So, what would you change? All of you guys that are watching right now, what would you change in your authority or your business practices? Would it be leasing on? Would you have got your own authority? Would it be the dispatching service? You would have built the network before and had your wife help? You got your family involved instead of your friend? Never went into business with your friend? Wouldn't have bought trucks, you would have just did owner operators? What's the story, guys? I want to know. What would you change from the last 6 months or the last 2 years if you had six things you could do to your business or three things in different sections? Would you have become a broker and went after customers a lot freaking sooner if you knew how? Would you have dispatched a couple of buddies that you ran into and made money off of them just to help them instead of them getting hurt by other people and your wife could have helped them if you knew how? I mean, if you're already sitting there and you're at a desk running your company, why not do the rest? Why limit yourself when you're already sitting there? Why leave it on the table when you don't have to? That's just my question. I mean, I don't understand. I have my own authority and insurance. Okay. Hey, OG, question. How do a broker need to pay his driver best way, in your opinion? As a broker paying his driver, well, you're paying a carrier, so it's going to go quick pay, or you're going to go through the factoring company, or they're going to float it. More than likely, it's going to be quick pay or their factoring company. So I would try to go through their factoring company as much as possible. And each time I had a carrier turn me down, I get on the phone with them and call that factoring company and have them and try to get approved. And what's really cool, like if you work, like we work with multiples, but Thunder and Operify and these different ones. But with Thomas of Operify, our factoring company for our brokerage, and he's constantly meeting up with other factoring companies, getting his clients approved ahead of time through the factoring companies for his broker clients. So it's easier on us, which is really, really cool. A lot of companies don't do that. You have to do it on your own. So that makes it hard. Otherwise, you're going to do quick pay or use your own cash out. All right. So Mila says, no, no, no. I pay it all myself, but they take 13% to pull their trailer. I'm getting screwed. I bought a truck and only knew or thought this is the way to do it. So you need to call me at 812-870-2039. Because I'll fix all that for you. You don't need to do that. We need to get your own trailer. You need to do your own authority, and you need to start working on booking your own freight and learning the real system because you're already in it. And if I need to help book some loads for you, we can, but not for 13%. And you should never be paying that for the trailer. Like, you should get your own trailer. It's your trailer. You're probably maintaining the trailer too while you're at it. That's so stupid. Please don't do that. Call me at 812-870-2039 and we'll help you. I'll help you do it all yourself. Or I can help you with our company. We do compliance, safety, drug testing. We're a broker. We do the dispatching. I have the trucking company going. You're just paying a like a glorified dispatch service that's giving you a trailer and stuff. They probably are the ones that led you into part of this too as an investor and all that stuff because you probably don't even drive. Let me write that up. You could have just messaged it to me. Yeah, you could have just met. You guys can always. My cell phone number is like literally this number right here is literally right there on that screen right in front of you guys. 812-870-2039. You guys can hit me up. 812-870-2039. If you guys type Shaggy Consulting and Training, Shaggy Consulting, you guys can type all those in everywhere, and they always my phone number is like everywhere. Man, you're always in here late, man. We're already been raising hell for like almost 30 minutes and stuff, and I got like work to do. So I would want to stay on here forever, but I really appreciate you guys. Think about what you guys could change. Maybe Lefty will hit me up tomorrow and jump on in the morning. And Frank or whoever, watch Frank tomorrow night. He's going to do this freaking awesome, I guess, top secret training about brokerage, and he knows a lot about it, him and Frank. So check that out. And Frank G3 Trucks and Freight. Guys, don't forget about our webinar coming up. Don't forget about our webinar coming up in 2 weeks, August 13th, from on Sunday, from 2 to 8:30, 9 o'clock. 6 topics, 6 hours, 6 topics, 4 topics per hour in a workbook. We're going to write stuff out and work hands on. 10 people in a class. We're going to start doing it every 2 weeks. I've been missing doing the training. I've been missing doing a lot of the training. So we're going to keep it rolling and the class is filling and just kind of do something that caters to everybody. Like Frank always said, like an advanced webinar on Sundays so it doesn't affect you guys working. Everybody needs to get their thinker rethinking and sometimes refresh. Hey, Taylor, that's fine. I'll give you a call here in just a few minutes. But anyways, we will. You guys, I don't want to stay on here forever. It gets too long. I appreciate everybody coming by, and stopping in. Go back and play the whole video. Play the whole video. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll be talking about compliance tomorrow, and then the next Wednesday we'll talk about posting and searching. Thursday we'll talk about cost of operations, and we'll just keep rolling different things during the week of problems that we're forgetting about, things that we're not thinking about. We get caught up worrying about what brokers are keeping, what Loadbards are telling us, and what people aren't doing. But that's not our. We don't care unless they work for us, unless they're our customer, or unless they're a broker in our relationship. Everybody else is an enemy that we're going to take their freight, take something they don't like, or we're going to do something that offends them. So what the fuck are you worried about them in the first place? They only get along whenever you're telling them what someone want to hear. Otherwise, if you're not feeding them something, they don't fucking like you. Don't you guys get that through your head? They don't like you. That's it. They move on to the next thing. You're almost like history, right? Where's everybody at? Where's all those people at that told everybody to get in? How easy it was going to be. Anybody can do it. All right, guys, take care of yourself. Have a plan. Have faith in your plan and be proactive. And as always, keep your family and God first, right? It's totally true, Taylor. It's 100%. Look at Nelson up there laughing above you, and he's the one that did the hot shot. Now he's doing a brokerage and he's trying to grab onto every buck he can because both of them, he's still learning how to do right. You know how many people have the greatest business skills in the world? Look at my man. Look at my man William right there that just popped in. Even though he drives me freaking nuts, and I think he leaves tons of money on the table, but he's always moving into something else. Pallets. Now he's selling cars. I think I think it's just an excuse to get new toys. But his wife told him it's called. He told his wife it's called having a car lot because he gets to play with them and drive them and stuff first. But okay, he says it's called a car lot. Him and Frank do that same kind of thing. I call it playing with toys. But anyways, we leave the money on the table. Why? Why do you leave the money on the table? Why are you not diversifying? Why are you not catering to the system? And why are you not using other people's to make money? Why do we always come right in thinking we have to own the trucks, buy the trucks, and be a slave to a business? Why can't we be the investor? Why do we always have to always feel like we're working? We're always working for somebody else, but why do we? There's a different way of it. One, we are employed by somebody else, or we are stuck to somebody else. The other one, we're in control because we are feeding it to owner operators, dispatching clients through our brokerage. How we could be doing insurance, equipment financing, referring deals to factoring. Guys are having trouble with invoices and getting paid. You can purchase your own fuel card. Hell, you could do health insurance. Like there's so many opportunities to make money in one business at one time that you're touching and being around every day, from being an e-log vendor. I mean, you just name them off. How many do you want in one building? How bad do you really want it? You want to be the guy that's out there that five trucks and you're driving one? Then by all means, fucking do it. I'd rather be the guy who would sit in my office like I am right now with five owner operators driving fucking nut, making the same amount of money, more. And I got time now to go do something else. Another part of the business. I get it. You want to drive, then fucking drive a truck. You know, you open up an authority and you get one truck and you tell me you got a plan. Well, where's your plan? Make as much as I can, go where I want, stack it up as fast as I can for rainy days, and hope to God nothing bad happens. Well, what happens when it does? It's going to happen. It's like, you're flipping through sticky notes. Which sticky notes? Mine. Drawing straws. Well, bing, there it is. Bingo. Fucking done. You're one fuse. Or you lease onto a guy because you couldn't make it on your own. You think it's going to be better over there. Why? Because they're a bank. They got a breakdown program. They'll feed you and put you in debt so you can walk away and screw them and do it again because you still have no fucking plan. You know what I mean? Anyways, thanks for getting me motivated. I don't know who got me motivated. I just wound up for a moment. So, anyways, sorry. I didn't mean to get all excited because, I mean, that's what we hear all day long. That's what we hear every day. I want, give it, take it. You know what I mean? Well, do the fucking work. Build a network, build the relationships, understand why assets are so important to a brokerage until you get to a certain point where you have a credit score and you can actually do something. Until then, if you don't, the truckers don't like you ain't moving nothing. Let's not even worry about the customers. It's the trucks and the rates, because if you only make 5% margins and you're factoring 10 and you're already out all your money, shit, you ain't seeing nothing for 30 to 60 days anyways. So good luck floating your bills at home. Unless you cheat. It always works. Where you steal the money from Peter to Paul, and Paul to pay Peter, and the next thing you know, Paul and Peter trip over a log. Now you're fucking broke. What's your plan? What are you gonna do? Where's your workbook with your plan? Where you're writing this out? Who's involved? Why am I doing this? What kind of equipment am I going? Why am I making an investment? Why drive? Will I have this? Then how much will all these things cost me? What will the upfront cost me? How do I wait through the 21 days? What's the most important things not to do when you first start? And then compliance and safety. Well, if I just drive, it's one. But then Taylor adds a second truck. Now you're in fucking trouble because you invested. So, you know what I mean? We could go over this over. What are you going to change for the last 2 years or last 6 months to keep you in business by next January? We're going into 24, and a lot of people don't see nothing changing. What if nothing changes? What if nothing comes back for 2 more years in the freight chasing cycle that you're freaking used to? Are you going to start fighting then? Do we have to go out there and get pitch axe and shovels and put Shaggy Consulting and sell them because we've been telling you that you're going to have to start shoveling? Now remember, you don't have to shovel in a straight line. You can actually go that way and this way and that way and all kinds of different ways. Even though you know you're just going to get back in there bullheaded and start shoveling. All right, guys, it's been way too long. There you go. All right, guys. Thanks for jumping on. Appreciate you a lot. I got work to do. See you guys later. Have a great day. See you guys tomorrow. I'm done now. Later. Peace. See, everybody keeps popping back in. What's up, Nikki? Nice to see you. So, guys, if you play the videos over, share the videos, mention that my webinar coming up again on Sundays. It'll be every 2 weeks from here on out. It'll help you. It's going to be a workshop, hands on, pretty cool. Guys, you could do one-on-ones any day of the week. You go to my website, schedule Shaggy, pick Shaggy's brain, and or come see me in my office in person. We'll work hands on. Whatever you guys need help with, my group of companies is here for you. We have a ton. We love you guys. Peace.